Hi, good evening, Bhante, and all Kayana Mita, Tuki Hotu. Welcome to Sutta Discussion Day 33 by Bhante Dr. Gangodawila Chandima. Tonight, we are going to discuss the 8th class of Sigalovada Sutta. I am Brother Lim, on behalf of the Ti-Ratana Amambudana Vihara clan, will be your moderator. With a blessing from the Chief Reverend, Dato' K. Sri Taman Ratana, this class will be broadcast by Zoom as well as on the Ti-Ratana Amambudana Vihara clan Facebook page and also YouTube channel. Our speaker, Bhante Dr. Gangodawila Chandima, is the Senior Advisor to Ti-Sutta. Ti-Sutta is a virtual Dharma organization that helps beginners as well as expert students in learning the Dharma in variety ways. You can check on Ti-Sutta with the link www.ti-sutta.blogspot.com. Many people are interested in Dharma Pariyesana, Ti-Sutta's most acclaimed interview series, which Bhante conducts on regular basis. In 2015, Bhante Dr. Chandima earned a PhD in Buddhist studies from a university in Jayawarde, Nipura in Sri Lanka. From 2012 to 2016, Bhante served as a Theravada Buddhist chaplain at the University of British Columbia, Vancouver, Canada. And in 2016, was a research fellow at the Center of the Religion and Society of the University of Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. Without further ado, we welcome Bhante Dr. Chandima. Welcome, Bhante, and thank you very much for tonight's talk. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Lim. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the 33rd Sutta discussion, which we've been conducting for a couple of months now, which started in March. So we've been studying a number of suttas. As you know that we've been studying Sigalovada Sutta for a couple of days now because it's a lengthy sutta, but we only look at the most important aspects of the sutta. So you don't have to be well versed in Pali, but you know, it is a sort of smart thing only to look at the main aspects. So we have today Bella, Lim is moderating, Sadris, and Hema. So I probably few others might be joining after this discussion. Okay, so before we jump into the discussion, let's pay homage to the Buddha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. All right. So we have, I think, left up at the third bad friends description. That means today we are going to discuss about the fourth bad friend. As you can see, it is number, let me see that. Yeah, it's the same number 11 in Pali document, Sutta Central. But it's going to be the last, probably just before the last one. As you can see, Apaya Sahaya. Chatuhiko Gahapati Putta Tanehi Apaya Sahayo. So who would like to read them books?
Bhante, I want to.
Yeah, right. Please go ahead.
Okay. Chatuhiko Gahapati Putta Tanehi Apaya Sahayo Amito Mita Patirupako. Vetu tapo. Suramiraya Macapama Tatana Nu Yoge Sahayo Hoti. Sikala Visika Chariyano Yoki Sahayo Hoti. Samaja Picharane Sahayo Hoti. Juta Pamata Tana Nuyoge Sahayo Hoti. Imehi ko kahapati puta Chatuhi tanehi apaya sahayo amito mita patiro pako veti tapoti.
Great. Yeah. So let me read too. Chatuhi ko gahapati putta tanehi apaya sahayo amito mitta patirupako vedi tappo. Now here's the tricky part, huh? Longer Pali words. Huh? So we'll do like slowly reading all that. Sura meraya majja pama datta nanu yogi. Because we can't stop. The reason is it's one Pali word, so we can't stop. But we're slowly going through. You know, if there is no comma, that means it's one Pali word, so we can't stop. But as a learner, beginner, you can pause. But if you want to really pronounce that Pali word, don't stop, but just keep going in a slow mood, like this. Sura meraya majja pama datta nanu yoge. That's one word. Huh? Sahayo hot. Again. Vikala visikha charya nanu yoge. Vikala visikha charyanu yoge sahayo hot. Samajjabhi charani. Samajjabhi charani sahayo hot. Again, along the word. Huh? Juta pamadatta nanu yogi sahayo hot. That's how we should read. Imehi ko gahapati putta. Why do I pause a little bit? Imehi ko, because there's a comma. Gahapati putta, comma. Chatuhi thani hi apaya sahayo. Amitto mitta patirupako vedi tabbu. Why there are inverted commas? It has to be iti. Vedi tabbu iti. Right? But it is contracted. So the inverted commas says vedi tabbu ti. But vedi tabbu iti. Iti means thus. In English we say thus. Like for example, look at the very famous statement for the Buddha. Itipiso bhagava arahan samma sambuddho. Itipi. What is itipi? Itipi means iti. Iti means, what is itipi? Itipiso bhagava. That Buddha has these qualities thus. Itipi. It's not a quality. It means thus. Right? So in that way, so some people say, can you recite the stanza for the Buddha's? Is it a stanza? No, it's not a stanza. So stanza means there should have 4 lines. If there are no 4 lines, it is not a stanza nor a verse. It is a statement. Itipiso bhagava arahan sam. It's also not a verse. There are many lines. If it is a verse, stanza, it should have only 4 lines. Supatipanno, it is also not a verse. Some ignorant folks say, okay, now can you recite that verse for the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha? They are not verses. Pretty interesting. Some grammatical stuff. Okay, so now this is about the last bad friend. Huh? What is his name or her name? Apaya Sahayo. Apaya Sahayo. Now, can you remember the rest of the bad friends which we discussed already? Those 3 bad friends. The first one. You don't have to look at it. Huh? Just tell me by memory. Because, I mean, in your own way. Because if you're going to look at it, I forgot it now because I had to look at the document, refer to the document. No, it has to be memorized. Oh, there is a friend who is always trying to take my things away. That friend. Anyadattuhara is the Pali word. But you know the context. The second bad friend? Talker, right? It's a talker, just talking. Help me, support me. It's not support. Treat me from the past, from the future, in different, but it's a talker. Third one, flatterer. Called Anuppiyabani. That one, Vachi Param. Anyadattuhara, the first one. Vachi Param is the second one. Anuppiyabani is the third. And today, Apaya Sahayu. What is Apaya? It's a very good word actually to discuss. Vinita, any thoughts? What is Apaya? Like, what do you think about the meaning of Apaya? I mean, your own thoughts. Don't refer to the document. Just take the word only from the document. Apaya. Is it a new word to all of you? Apaya. This word, let me type it for you. This one. Is it a new word to all of you? Is it? Is it a new word to all of you? I don't think so. I think you know. Isn't it? I think you know the meaning of this word. I think you know this word. Probably you know the meaning too. Any thoughts, Vinita? No thoughts yet. Huh? Anybody else?
Something to do with the ruining or something to do with losing things?
Losing things?
Loss, ruin.
Yeah, what's your personal, knowledge about this term in Buddhism? Because you, don't take it, this particular thing from today. I think you are kind of familiar with this word for long. So with that knowledge, how do you describe this word called apaya? A-P long A-Y-A. Other folks?
Sorry, Venerable, it doesn't come, nothing comes to mind.
Okay, not a problem. Yeah. Anybody else? Apaya? Really? Is it a new word to all of you? Is it? Have you heard the term called hell? Hell. Heaven and hell. You know. So the apaya is the hell. Huh? In Pali, we call apaya is the hell. Right? Now the thing here is interesting. Now there are a couple terms for hell. One is niraya. Another one is apaya. Now, apaya has been taken here in a way to the downfall of your life. Here, the downfall. That means a friend who takes you to your downfall of your life. Okay. Downfall means your destruction of your life. Your destruction. I would say your it's called downfall. That means you are not going up, you are not progressing. Right? So this friend is not like the other tree. Other trees are just daily stuff. What they are dealing with is daily stuff. Like they take things away. But you can say, okay, I'm gonna give some stuff, but I'm not gonna give other stuff. You can have your own discipline with that friend, because that friend might be somebody who you really need at some point, right? And when it comes to what you call the second one, you could tolerate even a talker, because it's not a big deal, right? Because we dealing with a lot of people in our life. Even the flatterer, you don't mind at all. Sometimes there are flatterers in our lives, family circles too, right? Probably work circles and other places, but we can tolerate. What about the apaya sahaya, somebody who is going to take you to on what you call destruction, your downfall? It's a bit, it's a bit different thing. Huh? Before we jump into the term for apaya, sorry, the term apaya for the friend, I want to ask you a couple of questions about what do you know about the hell in Buddhism? Probably it's a good idea to discuss. So before I jump into that, let me tell you, here the term apaya has been used to the friend who is taking you to your own downfall, your own destruction. So we never like somebody to take us to our own destruction, our own downfall, because we all like to develop us, we all like to progress our life, spiritual life, our material life, and all that. Okay, so that's the way how we're gonna connect the Pali term apaya to this particular friend called apaya sahaya. Sahaya means companion. Companion means, why do you not feel that you are being taken by that person? Because you still consider that person is a friend of you, right? So you don't feel it, right? So you don't feel at all, because you think that that friend is good to you, so you don't mind about it, right? Okay, so what do you know about apaya in, I would say, hell in Buddhism? Any thoughts? How many hells are there in Buddhism, some folks? Has anybody listened to, or maybe investigated on your own about what hell's like in Buddhism, Theravada Buddhism? But I know you are very concerned about the hell. There are people also sometimes discussing about there is a day that the beings, somebody can open the gate of the hell, close the gate of the hell, and there are beings who are going to be reborn in hells. So there are very different discussions about the hell. So how many hells are there in Theravada Buddhism? Oh, what are your thoughts about it? There are 8 main hells in Buddhism, Theravada Buddhism. They are mostly called as hot hells. Why is it? In Theravada Buddhism, they always say their explanation of hells are always hot, not cold. But in the Mahayana teachings, they say there are 8 cold hells too. 8 hot hells are mentioned in Theravada Buddhism, and 8 cold hells are mentioned in Mahayana too. Now the problem is, how do we separate them out? Actually, these Mahayana people also, came separated from the early teachings, right? So there's no argument also about it, but there are subtle things. Okay, that's a different discussion, so I'm not gonna detail more about it, but if you like, we can discuss later. So here, now you know, apaya sahaya means a friend who takes you to your own destruction, which you should not like, but you might not know that you are driven by, you are taken by that particular friend or those friends. Huh? Okay, who would like to read the English translation? This is going to be number 90 of the document. Yeah, Sadhris, you want to read number 19 of the English document? Number 19 is inside number 18, I guess, that paragraph.
The reckless companion can be identified by 4 things: by accompanying you in drinking, roaming around at night, partying and gambling.
Okay, so here now we have to be a little careful, because now I mean, as you can see, these 4, if you will look at in Pali, they are 4 of the 6 ways of squandering money, which we did a couple of weeks ago, right? Remember, there are 6 ways of squandering money. What are they? If you can go back in Pali document, you can see number 4, cha apaya mukani. Number 1 is suramerya. Number 2, roaming on the streets at untimely hours. 3, samajja, which that means partying. 8 is what you call jutappamada. That means what do you call, what is that? Jutappamada. You see that? That means partying, and then no, partying, and here gambling, Chutapamada, and then Papamita means associating bad friends, and Alasya means what you call negligence. Huh? So now it is pretty easy to understand, spot this Apaya Sahaya, because he has 4 of them. What are they? Surameria, that means drinking alcohol kind of stuff thing. And then Vikala, that means Vikala Charya, roaming on the streets at untimely hours. Samajjabacharana Yuta. That means the first 4 are referred to the ways of understanding Apaya Sahaya. So we have to be careful in a way that you may have a friend who might say, today we have our annual party of the company, annual party of office, so can we go there, right? So you may have a cup of alcohol, probably. That is a normal situation, I mean, in this society, right? It is not what is referred to here. I'm not saying that you have to take it from the extreme point. This is something like, okay, if you have a friend who is always taking you to, drink these stuff, if you have a friend who is always bringing you to parties, if you have a friend who's always bringing you to what you call gambling, huh? If you have a friend who's always take you to or want you to come with those people just to roam about, walk on streets that are really dangerous or something like that. So this is the kind of the friend who we call by Apaya Sahaya, because on one side you are squandering your money, on the other side it is a great risk for you, and also you will be addicted. Addiction is the main narrative, main thing that you understand by Apaya Sahaya, with Apaya Sahaya friend. Let's talk about the 4 things that you will spot this kind of friend. It is same like one of those 4 of those 6 scorny ways. The reckless, so another meaning. The reckless means okay, I would say, yeah, it is reckless, at the same time somebody who is bringing you to your own destruction. So this Apaya Sahaya friend will accompany you in drinking. Sometimes when you have a friend, like drinking buddies, when you have a friend who is doing that, so you will easily be addicted to that particular thing, right? So this friend will do that, not just one time, all the time. That is how you're gonna understand this person. I understand the situations in today's world, because you may have a ceremony, you may have a specific event. Yeah, not like that. This could be something that you are asked, you are pressurized all the time, always for drinking, and at the same time, what do you call roaming around it. I'm not going to detail all of, because I already discussed with you all those 4, and partying and gambling. So the 2 things I want you to understand out of these 4 is that the first thing is, this friend always wants to accompany you, so that you will maintain your addiction. Second thing is addiction. Let's talk about these 2. They are very interesting, because in our life, if we addict to something, that is going to be a big issue in our life. And then let's talk about how does addiction start? How does addiction, continue with people and with other things, right? That's the fundamental nature of this particular bad friend, because this is what is going to happen to us. Okay, what are your thoughts about addictions, specifically from a Buddhist point of view? Addiction.
Is the desire or wanting to do more.
Okay, want to do more, huh? Okay.
The desire. the
Yeah.
addiction.
Desire to do a particular behavior, right?
Repeatedly.
A particular thing or behavior over and over, right? Something like that. Sadhus, any thoughts from you?
Yeah, repeat. Because of the repeat wrong things that we are doing, it bring disharmony to the family and the children's and to ourselves. It hurts our own self. Right?
Mm-hmm. Somebody can argue something from with you. Are there any harmless addictions? Huh?
Repeat
Yeah.
again, please.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great answer. At the same time, somebody might look at it this way, because you are bringing your family and you for addictions. Somebody may say that, are there any harmless addictions? Nobody's involved, just somebody only, right? They will discuss that too.
Yeah, that is when the situation happened. That's why we point a finger in a way to the person who is addicted, which create problems with the family members, children's, and themselves.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's pretty understandable. I mean, somebody might say that I have a bad addiction, but I don't do any harm to anybody. Because addictions can come from different ways that harm other people. There may be some addictions. I mean, definitely there are impacts. Definitely, I mean, because addictions can vary from different ways. Yeah, but it's a good answer, Sadhis. I mean, definitely the big addictions, definitely they affect those.
Eventually, you see, the beginning, the addiction won't hurt you. It won't look like you or hurt anybody else. But in the long run, 30 years, 20 years later,
True.
You see the real fruit of it and what's the damage you have done. By the time it's too late to say, oh, I didn't hurt anybody.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
True.
Beginning you say, yeah, I don't hurt anybody. But long run, because of your repeat doing these wrong things, you run out of money, you lose your job, the children are not taken care, family got not enough money.
Yeah.
So how?
That's another answer. Anybody else? The question is, how do you define addiction in a Buddhist perspective?
For me, I think it's an attachment to kind of activity that involve activity that we cannot stop. That we are attached to it, that we cannot stop. I think something like that is the activity.
Yeah, so there should have a different an activity, and then we cannot withdraw us from that particular activity because we are kind of attached to it. Yeah.
I think more on the mind, our mental side, mind, not.
Okay, great. Others?
I think it's a craving. Is it coming from craving?
Yeah, craving is definitely involved because the desire will become a craving. Yeah. Okay, so a couple of things that we learned from a couple of you is that one thing is repetitive behavior action over something, desire, and then the effects that are posing on other people around you, right? So these are really great aspects of addiction. Actually, addiction can go on both sides, both ways, good and bad also. Now, bad is what we've been discussing. Are there any people who are addicted to good stuff too? Like compulsively?
Yes. How about reading? Reading?
Yes. Some people might say.
Chanting the sutras.
What? Chanting?
Chanting the sutras and all that.
Yeah, some people. Because someone can chant sutras in a moderate way, or do Dhamma practice also in a model. That is what the Buddha asks us to do, right? Majjhima Patipada, through the middle path, right? So even the good stuff, as you said, chanting the sutras. What's the other one, Sadhvis, you said? You said
reading books, reading.
Yeah, some people might say, I'm an avid reader. I'm an avid reader. Huh? So I'm yeah, reading books. And then, as you said, chanting sutras. What else? I mean, good addiction. Some people might say, I have an addiction, but it's a good addiction. What are they? Harmless, good addictions.
Cleaning,
Pardon me?
cleaning homes, cleaning.
Cleaning,
Cleaning.
cleaning houses. So an addiction?
Yeah,
Okay.
obsessive cleaning.
Obsessive cleaning? Am I right? Okay, compulsive.
Yeah.
Right? Compulsive. That's a psychological way of saying. Cleaning, that's a good one, because I know there are people, they want to clean by themselves. They don't like other people clean. They are not happy about it. Okay, I know somebody swept the floor, but it's still dirty. Yeah, I'm gonna go and clean it. But it's not dirty. They think it's dirty, right? It's kind of addiction to a mindset. I have to clean by myself so that the place is clean and tidy. So that is one other example. Cleaning. What else? Addictions, good addictions. We can say a lot of bad addiction. Actually, today we talk about these four characteristics of a bad friend who is trying to bring you to bad addictions. They are pretty clear, very, very visible. But we're talking now at this point, good addictions.
What about eating organic materials or good food? Some people are really like addicted to that. They don't
Actually,
have
we can actually anybody can addict to any good thing. Anybody can addict to any bad thing. That is the truth, right? That's not, there is no big issue in understanding those two. Now, if you look at the Buddha's way of, understanding our life, because there are two things that are highly involved in our spiritual journey and our life. One thing is balance, or I would say the middle path. The other thing is energy management. These two are very important. Although you want to learn a lot of Dhamma, you want to practice, but if you don't have this balanced mind, if you don't know how to stay balanced, how to stay moderate in your own way, I can't tell you your moderation. It could be different from me, right? Moderation varies from you to me, from you to A to B, B to C. You can't say I'm eating 2 plates of rice and you should eat only half of it, right? It varies from one to one, right? Probably you might say, I only chant 2 sutras. You also chant 2 sutras. No, I'm going to chant 3 sutras, right? It's up to you, but you should find out your own moderation with your life, right? So whatever the things you are doing in your spiritual life, in your other secular life, you should be very concerned about 2 things. One thing is management of your energy. The second thing is moderation, right? If you don't figure out these 2 in an adequate level, then you will be definitely addicted to the good thing also. That is not a good move. That is where a lot of people getting stuck, right? Let's say you want to meditate. Yes, unless you have your full time for meditation, but you should set aside a time for your meditation, right? In the same way, let's say, as Sadhis mentioned, somebody can be addicted to chanting sutras. What will happen if somebody is addicted to chanting only? Then they will miss out on the Dhamma path, right? They will only think that chanting is the only way to find the solution for the life. But we still need chanting. Yes, we still need chanting. But we have to balance out, because The Buddha said to us, the main thing in our Dhamma path is learning Dhamma. So while you're learning Dhamma, you need some time for the chanting. But let's say you do the chanting, you learn the sutta, but if you don't meditate, you're missing out on a very big part of your life. Okay? These three things have to go in moderation. But unfortunately, what a lot of people do is that people who meditate, they only meditate. People who listen to chanting, they only do chanting. People who listen to Dhamma talk, they only do that. So you are getting addicted to one area only. So addictions can be even coming from good ways too. So addiction is a very big problem. What are the examples from the Buddhist history? Any stories, anything you know about addictions? Angulimala, is Angulimala a good story for that?
Somewhat like
Somewhat
addition of killing.
That was after. Before
The
two studios. He was to study very well. He was the smartest guy in the class, the brilliant, smartest guy. Then what happened? Other students were very jealous about him. That was the problem. They were very jealous. This guy is doing very well, you know. He came to this class. It's like modern, one of the reputed Ivy League colleges, university. So we don't like him. So we have to devise a plan. We cannot tell our teacher, this guy is not good. We have to fabricate a story. What was the story they planned to say? There was a bad guy who said, you know what, we'll make this plan. We're going to say to our teacher, this guy is having an affair with your wife. This was the point. Because he was very studious, other students were very jealous of him. So other students, they slandered to the teacher. And teacher was very mad. But teacher was very cunning also, because he also did not tell him that you having this affair. He wanted him to suffer in a very bad plan, but asking him, okay, do you want to study very well? Yes, I'm very studious. Okay, if you want to study very well, there's a tribute that you had to do for your teacher. You had to create a garland of fingers. That means now, for example, if Angulimala was had not been somebody, you know, who had, if he had been somebody who could separate out good and bad, he could have rejected, right? Teacher, I can't do that, because this is really unethical. But did he say like that? No, I want to study well under you. Tell me whatever the thing I will do for you, whatever, killing or what he did. He started doing. So that means addiction to even study. But it turned out to be a different thing at the end. But he started killing people just because he wanted to please the teacher. See? So I think it's a clear example for addiction in a way. How about Devadatta? Is Devadatta another example for addiction? Now I'm not going to explain to you how did Devadatta play a role in addiction. Tell me how he played with addiction. Who was Devadatta? Is he a relative to the Buddha? Shakyamuni Buddha?
There's a cousin or something, eh?
Cousin in what sense? Others? Give it a try. What was the connection of Devadatta to the Buddha? The relationship.
Cousin, right?
That's me, Yashodhara's brother.
Brother-in-law, yeah.
Huh? Yeah,
Brother-in-law.
Yashodhara's brother. Yeah, that brother-in-law, but Yashodhara's brother. Supabuddha's son. Right? What happened to him? Why he became a bad person at a certain point? Because he was so addicted to becoming a Buddha. He thought just by killing the existing Buddha, he can become the Buddha. And then he thought, I cannot do this thing. I have to get the support of the king. But the king at that moment was King Bimbisara. So I can't get the support. But I can persuade his son, Ajasatha. Right? And then what happened? He went to his palace. He did something with his power. He had attained the Samatha Bhavana. That means he had attained the 5 what you call psychic powers, not like a normal monk in today's world. He attained a certain level of meditation. This Devadatta. Dhamma folks, don't be taken away by this thing. Devadatta has been practicing meditation well. That is why he attained the 5 psychic powers from the Samatha Bhavana. Good Samatha practitioner. But what is the problem with Samatha? You will expire when you have the bad thoughts. That is why the Buddha said, Samatha is not my teaching. Samatha was there already. Vipassana is my teaching. But you should start from Samatha and then change your way to Vipassana. Right? Because Samatha is what you are looking for, the bliss. Bliss in your life. But bliss is expiring. It's impermanent. Right? Only Nibbana is permanent. Right? So Devadatta attained this bliss. But he has vicious thoughts. What was his addiction? He wanted to be the Buddha. He did everything that he could do to become the Buddha. So that addiction of becoming the Buddha. And then he did a lot of unethical things to which I don't want to share again with you, all that. Other examples? What are the other examples? Whether you have a story or not? What are the other Buddhist examples where you find addiction? No thoughts about it?
No.
Have you studied the life of the Buddha in a gradual way? How things happen with the Buddha's life?
Yeah.
I normally advise everybody before starting sutta discussions, read the life of the Buddha a little bit, because it has a lot of examples to our sutta discussion. Not just, okay, Prince Siddhartha was born and he became the Buddha and all that. Gradual life of the Buddha, what do you call the biography of the Buddha, a little bit, just a little bit. There are a couple books that you could read because they have a lot, those books carry a lot of important things. One addiction was, Bella, you want to share anything?
Just out about Ananta.
I
think he addict to listen the Dhamma from the Buddha. Anytime Buddha go to anywhere, have to return back and
yes. But what was the disadvantage he had with that? He could not attain Nibbana while the Buddha was alive. Ananda was not able, like, for example, now that is a very good example. You might say, Bhante, I've been listening to a lot of Dhamma talks, I've been learning, but I have not been able to progress in my own way. Because we feel to us, right, the certain level of our mindset, our, spirituality. Then I can tell you, look at Ananda. How many Dhamma talks he know? Just because you know Dhamma, you cannot attain Nibbana, you cannot attain Sotapanna. Because Bhante Ananda could not practice. He knew, but he could not practice. What he did was, like a computer listening to the book, okay, I can retain everything. Okay. But he was not able to attain Nibbana. Then what happened at the end? It was a very big issue to Bhante Mahakassapa, Arahant Mahakassapa. Arahant Mahakassapa said, now in 3 months, we're going to be doing the first council. But everybody who wants to participate should be an Arahant. So he booked 499 seats, except one. He said to Bhante Ananda, please attain Nibbana, otherwise I can't bring you there. Right? So he tried very much and he became an Arahant. Right? So this is a clear example. Just by learning a lot of Dhamma things will never take you to the Nibbana. But you need Dhamma knowledge with the practice. I always urge the practice side. But You need some Dhamma knowledge. Doesn't mean that you should not learn. Learn at the same time, spare some time, enough time for the practice. It's a very good example. That means learning too much Dhamma does not take you to Nibbana just because you know it, because you need the practice. So that might also be an addiction because you have no practice otherwise. Others? What my question was, what other stories do you know about addiction in the Buddhist history or, suttas? Or maybe you can bring up your story, probably something in short you can learn.
I know one more.
Okay.
One more story about Patipujita.
Patipujika.
Yeah, anytime she do the
flower thing.
Yes, and then anytime she did the merit, she always wish to see her husband in the heaven. Yeah, the Deva. Yeah, that also. Can we say that is addict?
That's a little hard to say because on one occasion, the couple called what were their names? I can't remember exactly. That couple, I think I shared with you a couple of weeks ago. They wanted to become lovers again in the next life. So the Buddha said it is possible if you practice. So I think there are a couple of things we cannot exactly say they are addictions. So addictions, I think, in the sense of psychology, it's like very much into something in a way so that you are continuing your samsaric life unnecessarily, right? So so it could be it could be a little different, so we cannot exactly separate out those two, but if there is a strong desire, I would say craving, as Hema said, that is craving. When it becomes a craving, then definitely it has the addiction thing happening. How do you know that you have simply a desire or a craving? How do we separate out? Craving is always attached to greed, right? It is always attached to greed. But desires are sometimes not attached to greed. Let's say you are allowing your other person to be, become the person, become who he or she want to be. You are not controlling, right? But still you are with them, right? So you are understanding, all those sides. But there are people who always want to manipulate, control, so greedy about the stuff and the people. Then it's going to be a addiction, definitely. Other addictions? Addictions to jhana. Do you know what is jhana? It is also an addiction, because jhana is a fundamental way of keeping you calm. But the problem is, when you have a jhana, then you will attain some of the levels of bliss, but they are expiring at a certain point. The Buddha said always try to turn you to vipassana at a certain point, but you still need jhana in the first place. Yeah. So in this way, anybody wants to add anything else about addiction? Otherwise, we're going to continue with the topic.
Bhante, I'm curious to know in the Buddhist practice how you uproot this addiction.
How you?
Uproot it. Uproot the addiction. What's the solution?
Overcome.
Yes.
Okay, how to overcome. Okay.
Normally we say vipassana meditation, but many people are not to the level to practice. I mean, the common people who got addiction, they are been ignorant about the tools. But normally, what are the tools?
Yeah. Short answer, Noble Eightfold Path. Long answer. Samma ditti, samma sankappa, vacha kammanta, ajiva, sati samma. That's a long answer. This is what I've been trying to say. I think we will turn to that as the end of this addiction conversation. I think Dihan has a question too. What's your question, Dihan?
Yeah, just comment, Bhante. Then, for example, in addiction, we call, for example, drug addiction. That means for our day-to-day life, without drugs, we can't survive. That is addiction. For example, computer addicted. That means as a part of the life, then we want to play game or something. Then addicted. That means we think is the one is important and necessary. So for our day-to-day life, then something we think without that one we can't survive. Then actually it may be a
yeah. So that's a great way of noticing daily addictions. There are daily addictions. Huh? So we are addicted to social media, internet, but there are people who only use internet, social media to productive things, and then they just exit from that. But other people cannot. They start from 6 p.m. and they don't know how many hours I've been on internet. They are just idling on internet. That means there's something that a lot of people have to learn. So the answer, Hema, to this question, how to overcome addiction, is Noble Eightfold Path. A lot of people don't understand Noble Eightfold Path with this point. They always think, okay, this is the path to Nibbana. I don't want to attain Nibbana now. So no, it is not even just the path to Nibbana. This is the path to happiness. And the end of that happiness, the highest happiness, is Nibbana. But this is the path to happiness, right? So when you are addicted, you are not happy. You will see a blind happiness, but you are not really happy, truly happy. Okay, why did Buddha want to say this? In his first Dhamma talk, Dhamma Chakkappavatana, so which is going to be our next sutta of discussion after Sigalovada. Because he wanted to tell people, please don't deviate. Be in the middle of everything. Okay, how did he say? He said to people, I myself practice the wrong addictions, 2 wrong addictions. Actually, no, I would say not wrong. Addiction. I had 2 addictions. One is Attakilamatana Yoga. The other one is Kamasukallika. What is Attakilamatana Yoga? When you are too much into giving pain to your body.
Self-motivation.
Sorry? Yeah, sabotaging yourself. Yeah, sabotaging yourself. There are many higher words, self-modification. And simply, I would say, if you are giving a lot of suffering to you, a lot of pain to you, that is one end. We are not deserved to giving pain or whatever the thing to us, because that is one addiction. Why did the Buddha say like this? He knew when people wanted to practice Dhamma, at that time, they thought the more they torture themselves mentally, physically, the higher, the happier they are. And the Buddha said, I reject that idea. Who held that idea, them folks? Jains, Nigantanathaputta's followers. They said to people, we have done a lot of bad karma in past lives, so we have to give a lot of pain to our body and our mind. Then one day Buddha asked, okay, now you are giving pain to your body. You know how much pain, how much bad karma you have already overcome? They said, we don't have any idea about it. They said to the Buddha. Buddha said, that is wrong. That is not the Dhamma path. So now, please pay attention to this very important point. Even some Buddhist people might think, we have to suffer alone. If you give pain to you, if you even thinking to commit suicide, take your life, that is the worst of Attakilamatana Yoga, right? And also there are people, they think we have to suffer a lot to practice. No, you don't need to suffer for meditation. Don't suffer, right? You have to do with Majjhima Patipada, middle path, Noble Eightfold Path. I can't sit down, but I have to sit down. Why do you want to sit down if you don't suffer? Because meditation is mostly done, although there are some certain physical requirements, done with your mind. If your mind is not settled, although you want to follow procedural stuff, you won't progress. So with Arthakalamatana Yoga, self-modification, giving suffering in simple ways, that is one end. Never give suffering to your mind and the body. On the other hand, never give lots of comfort to you. You need some comfort. Lots of what you call, never indulge in happiness too much, right? Because it's a suffering too at a certain point, right? Because you will find out that you're going to be addicted to that. So these are two addictions. So the way how to overcome all of the addictions that are part of either Atthakalamatana Yoga or Kamasukhallikana Yoga is the middle part. The middle part, what does it entail? Sammaditthi. First, we have to understand how to separate out wrong view and right view. Why is it very important? Why it is the starting point? Because a lot of our problems, 99.9 problems that we have come from a bad perspective, wrong attitude about anything. You might blame somebody because you don't understand that particular person. You might have a bad idea about people, society, because you don't understand that particular attitude or the society or the people. You might get angry because you don't understand your own emotions. So the perspective is the starting point of our life. So now take it to the spiritual life. If you have the right perspective, I think I already discussed all of them in a couple of slides before, then you are not going to be addicted, because all the addictions come from wrong views, right? Wrong views. Say, for instance, like what Sadhri said, okay, I only do chanting, I don't want anything else. Yes, then that is going to be an addiction, right? That is a harmless addiction, but still it is an addiction. Then what will happen to you, right? You are rejecting all the other things. Then your perspective will be changed because of this, right? Because Dhamma is not just listening to chanting. Chanting is needed, but it is not everything. Listening to Dhamma is also needed, but it's not the only thing. Meditation is very needed at a certain point. Otherwise, you can't practice, but it's not the only thing. We need all these, right? That is how we're going to make our way to our spirituality, right? So, Sammaditthi. When you have the right perspective, then you start coming out of the right thoughts, Samma Sankappa. Then, when you have the right thoughts, they are not addictions. They are very healthy, very, good thoughts to you. So you are not falling into any addictions. Then all the other respective, parts of the path arise in you. Samma Vacha, right speech, Samma Kammanta, right action, Samma Ajiva, right living, Samma Vayama, right effort, Samma Sati, right mindfulness, Samma Samadhi, right concentration. Now see, even some people meditate also wrongly. That is why there's a wrong mindfulness. Some people meditate in wrong ways. How does it happen? Those people who meditate for worldly gains, right? If you practice meditation just to become popular, just to say I practice meditation, just to show off, then that is, where are you creating another akusala? It is better you don't meditate at that point, right? Because you are creating other akusalas. Then what is about the wrong concentration? That means people who only attain samadhi for the jhanas. The Buddha said those jhanas are expiring, so you need to turn to vipassana. So the short answer is Eightfold Noble Path. That's the answer. So you are not falling into any addiction. So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, balance.
Yeah, the balance, but the balance has to be healthy, because the balance that in each individual has can be different from the other folks, right? Because we come from different backgrounds, different ages, different environment. There are many, many different factors. So you have to find out your own balance. That's very interesting. But whatever the life you come from, if you find that I'm in my life, I'm not turning into any addiction. I'm in the middle, right? So I continue my life with that moderation, then you will be progressive in many things. And the other thing, in addition to addiction, is what do you call managing your energy. Is energy a big problem to our spiritual life?
Yes.
Yes, it is. How do we describe that in Buddhism? Energy, virya, called virya.
Virya is effort, right, Bhante?
Yeah, virya, effort is the English word, but virya has the idea of energy. Because if you don't have energy, you don't come to effort. So let's say the fundamental nature of the effort is virya.
Yeah, is right effort one of the factor in the Eight Noble Path?
Yeah, that's a good point. Samma vayama. At the same time, we need
7 foundation.
Sorry.
What 7 factors for enlightenment? Also, virya is inside.
Yeah, some vayama is a part of many calculations. One is what you call the Noble Eightfold Path. One is the 7 awakening factors, bojjhangas, and many other places. But fundamentally, vayama is a big factor in the Noble Eightfold Path. Now, my focus here for you is that virya, that means vayama is a proper wording for virya, but normally virya is a perfection also. Now, with not being addicted to anything in our life, either to Atta Kilamatani or Kamasukalikana, we have to maintain our energy. We have to maintain our energy. For example, let's say you want to study Sutta today, right? Then there's some virya you need. Otherwise, you might feel, okay, I'm tired today. I can't do it. You know, it's too much for me, right? So you are running out of your energy for that. But even this, let's say there's an event in temple. I mean, definitely you can sort out these events because you might be busy also. But you can look at how does energy play in that. Not even that. What about leave out the temple, leave out this online discussion. Think about your own life, daily life. Do I give enough time for my practice? In that perspective, nobody is giving interruptions to you. But you think for yourself, no, today I cannot do that because meditation I have to do in a separate way, different way. So you are going to be a little lazy, right? That is why energy management is very important in the practice. So middle path and the energy management. Because let's say you get angry, is it a part of energy? Yes. Because that angry mind has to turn to the other side. That means you are going to bring that angry mind to the loving kindness path, right? So as you know, in science, they say there are powers, right, in a certain way. So it's always the balance of energy. Okay, so all in all, what I've been trying to explain to you today is the last bad friend, Apaya Sahaya, who is said to be somebody who wants to accompany you to Suramere, drinking or using drugs, alcohol too much so that you are not having the sound mind. That is the first characteristic of the bad friend. I'm not saying that there are some exclusions, exemptions. There may be exemptions. Let's say you have a official party, you have an event where you work. It's not like that. If you have a friend who's always trying to bring you to those such events, one characteristic is that. Second is, if you have a friend who is always trying to take you to what do you call partying, always. If you have a friend who's always taking you to gambling, if you have a friend who's always asking you to be with him or her on the streets at untimely hours. So these are bringing you to your own dwindling, your own downfall, your own destruction. So I think this friend is a little dangerous, more dangerous than the before, what we discussed before, because those three friends you can just ignore. You might say it's not a big problem to me. They are problematic, but this guy is squandering money and put you at risk for your life. So I would say a life-threatening friend. So the reason why we discuss addiction is that what will happen to you with this friend is that you will be addicted to Surameya and all these four. So that is more dangerous, because if you are addicted, it's a little difficult for you to stop those bad habits, right? So that's the focus of today's discussion. I probably think because we are starting good friends from next Friday, so I think we should kind of summarize all the bad friends today, so we can definitely easily go to the good friends from next Friday. Okay, so the first bad friend, what we discussed a couple of weeks ago, was Anya Dattu Hara. Remember? Anya Dattu Hara. Anya Dattu Hara means someone who is always trying to take your things away. Always, right? Someone who is always trying to take your things away is Anya Dattu Hara. Probably I'm going to ask you some questions at the end. Huh? Be ready for that. The second bad friend is somebody who only treats you with their words. But interestingly, there are people, you know what, he can't give me anything, but at least he gives me his good words, her good words. Are there things happening to you like that? Sometimes, right? I know my friend has no money, not a lot of money, but she is trying to help me with some good words. But Pachiparama is somebody who is using that as a way to escape from the friend. The third bad friend is the flatterer. That means somebody who is trying to just flatter about you, exaggerate about you, brag about you, but he's a different character behind the scene. Today, we discuss the most dangerous bad friend, who is taking you outside to squander your money. Also, you put you at risk. Okay, any questions about these four friends? We'll take a minute. Oh, any questions about the previous friends? Because we are going to finish bad friends today. We're gonna starting a fresh topic from next week. Hema, we don't hear you. Can you unmute? Yeah.
Bhante, I just want to clarify, this sutta is called Sigalovada Sutta in the Pali notes, and English one is Sigalovada Sutta. So which one should we call?
Both are
Singala?
used. Both are used.
Singala.
Not, yeah, there are, because Hema, these names of the suttas were given by monks, not by the Buddha for the most part of the suttas.
Okay.
Now, there is one sutta in the Majjhima Nikaya, it says, what do you call? Can't remember. There was a different name. Later, it was changed because what happened was that with Bhante Ananda's memorizing, when he said all these, uttered all these, recited all these suttas in the first convocation, then there were other traditions started, Bhanaka tradition. That means students of Bhante Sariputta started protecting one particular Nikaya. Students of Bhante Anuruddha started maintaining one particular Nikaya. And then student from Ananda started maintaining Diga Nikaya, the Majjhima from Sariputta, Bhante Sariputta. I can't remember the rest of. So the Kuddaka Nikaya, all the monks agreed to maintain. So what happened was that through these different traditions, we call them Bhanaka, memorizing traditions. These Bhanaka traditions maintain, fine-tuned, probably they renamed the suttas name. So Sigala is one way of saying that. Sigalovada is also a way of, Ovada means advices to Sigala. When you say Sigala means Singala, the name of the guy, the young guy. When you say Sigalovada means advices to Singala. So there is no big issue because these names were given at a later time. Sutta is original inside, but the names were given at a later time when they were compiled.
Okay.
I think they have been memorized for long, and only in Sri Lanka, I think it's in 2nd century. It was written in books in Sri Lanka. That was the time they were put into books actually. Yeah, so there were pretty much a lot of things, reductions, adaptations, fine-tuning happened. But that is how we see some. Like Metta Sutta, some people say Metta Sutta, Karaniya Metta Sutta. There's no problem, Karaniya means should be done. So the Metta, what should be done? Metta means loving kindness. Karaniya Metta means loving kindness that has to be done. So there are things like that about the names.
Thank you, Bhante. Thank you.
Yeah, interesting, huh? How these things have been happening.
Yes.
Yeah, Sadhus, you have a question?
No.
Okay. Yeah, don't stay quiet. It's a perfect time to ask questions, and I'm happy to answer any question. Don't worry about the length, the context of the question.
You can ask any question, Bhante. I'd like to know what happened. The first council meeting of the Buddhists, of all the monks coming together. That is 600 years after Buddha passing away. Is it?
First convocation? First council?
First council.
No, after 3 months of his passing.
Okay, then, after 3 months,
yeah.
And all the monks meet together.
Yeah, go ahead.
500 monks, all right, something like that. So they came together. Is this the time they start to write into the books, or what?
No. After a long time, the writing part happened in Sri Lanka.
Oh.
In Sri Lanka, I guess this is second.
The Pali words.
Yeah, second
century.
Second century, I guess. I would say, yeah, most probably. I can't exactly say. I have to check that. To be honest, let me see this. Okay. Yeah, she has to be. Yeah, I can't exactly find the time. Most probably second century. Second century.
It's written to the book in Sri Lanka.
Yeah. So the first convocation 6 BCE.
Yeah.
That means 400 years before. So that is why I'm saying a lot of things have been added and redacted, changed. A lot of things have been happening there. So we have to separate out. I mean, you can't do that. Scholars can do it. So what I'm trying to say is I'm not trying to scare you about the text. But when you read, when you want to understand it, give some space for that. Give some space for these things, right? It's like that you are going to build a house in the bank of the river. You know that you're going to be flooded because river has a bad time, right? When it has a lot of water, it's going to be flooded, the banks, right? Then of course you are not building the house near the river. You cannot build the house a little far away from the river. In the same way, I'm asking you, when you read suttas, give some extra space for these things. So you will know that name problems, some of the contextual issues and all that. right? But
Yes.
most of the suttas are okay, to be honest, they are okay. But there are some couple things, right, that we need to, because Hema, the problem is it has been, the what do you call, the memorizing traditions have been written down after many centuries. So when it happens, these have been coming down through the oral tradition. When, let's say, I talk to you, I tell you something today, and you pass it to somebody, third person, and that person is going to tell this to another fourth person, fifth, sixth, seventh, and let's say 10. Do you think that they will be, the 10th person will be hearing the exact same thing I tell you?
No. No.
So then think about it. For 6 centuries, right?
Okay, 600 years.
I mean, more than 400 years, right? So I'm telling you, so when we learn Dhamma, we have to be careful. But I'm not saying they are not Christian, they are not sacred. They are sacred, but there are a couple things that we have to have caution in learning.
And it's good that Bhante, I know you study on this Buddhist teaching so much. I'd like to understand what is different. What is, they are ancient teaching. That means the first 200 century, is it? There's just an ancient Buddhist teaching. What does it mean?
Ancient Buddhist teaching. Actually,
that means it's the early part of the Buddhism, right?
Early Buddhism. Early Buddhism. We call it early Buddhism.
Yeah,
Question. Yeah. Early
Yes.
Buddhism means it is a period actually. Now, even the scholars say early Buddhism is very original. If you look at the later Buddhism, Abhidhamma is a later addition, to be honest, right?
I see.
And even some of the suttas of early Buddhism also added in a way, but they are more original. So early Buddhism here means Digha Nikaya, Majjhima Nikaya, Samyutta Nikaya, and Anguttara Nikaya.
Okay.
Some people also say Khuddaka Nikaya also, early Buddhism. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yes. So
the Tipitaka is during that time. The
no,
early
Tipitaka is a later name that
later.
Yeah,
I see.
There were different names to classify the Buddha's Dhamma Vinaya. Since the Buddha's time, Buddha never said his teaching is Tipitaka.
Okay. We speak the basket of...
There were no 3 baskets at that time.
Yeah.
Plus, this Dhamma cannot be basketed.
Yeah. The collection of discourse, yeah.
It's really crazy. You can't make it to baskets. So what we learned at that time was Dhamma and Vinaya. Actually, at that time, Dhamma. The Buddha never laid down Vinaya until he became, I guess, he became 55, I guess, 20 years, because he didn't want to lay down Vinaya, because the monks were very good. And what happened, when things have been happening for a long time, there are corruptions happening. That is normal, right? Everywhere in the world. So Vinaya was added. So then they call Dhamma. So Buddha always said, my Dhamma Vinaya will be your teacher when I passed away. No Tipitaka. Then where's the Tipitaka part? No Abhidhamma also at that time. Then what happened was, after the third Sanghayana, there was the Abhidhamma, because you don't call it Dipitaka, na? Dipitaka. So if you call Dhamma Vinaya, then there are only 2 Pitaka. Nobody calls it Dipitaka. Only people say Tipitaka. Then if it is Tipitaka, then there should be a third basket. Third basket then was truly added in the third council. Not the first one, second one, third one. At the time of the Asoka in India, right? So that means this Tipitaka was a later name that was added to understand Abhidhamma with, Sutta Vinaya with Abhidhamma. Why Abhidhamma? Abhidhamma was made by the monks at that time to explain the problems that started from the Sutta Pitaka. Okay. So if you learn Abhidhamma, you learn Dhamma Vinaya very well. If you have a knowledge of Abhidhamma, you clearly understand, very technical, very mechanical, right? But if you learn only sutta, you have, okay, somebody say like this, somebody say like this. I don't know what's true. But if, with Abhidhamma, it's pretty clear, to the point, right? So, but the problem is, how did Abhidhamma start? If it is not said by the Buddha, then no, it was said by the Buddha. But he did not identify this is Abhidhamma. What happened? So the monks, they gathered same Nikaya text differently from different places, and then they created this Abhidhamma part. So the Tipitaka teaching was used from the third council. Before Dhamma Vinaya, then Tipitaka. In today's world, also people say Tipitaka, classification.
Thank you very much. Very enlightening. Thank you very much. Very enlightening of the, you know.
So then what I always tell people is that Dhamma Vinaya is the way how Buddha identified things. Now, one example, let me tell you something very interesting. People say Buddha is Sabbanyu. This Pali term, Sabbanyu. Sabbanyu means someone who knows everything in this universe. Okay. But this term was used to other teachers, not to the Buddha, Nigantanatha Buddha and all these people. Then one person came to the Buddha and said, Tevijja Vachagota in Majjhima Nikaya, he said, Bhante, you know, a lot of people say you are Sabban, omniscient. That's the English word, omniscient. You know everything. So are you really omniscient? Buddha said, do not insult me. I am not Sabbanyu. Do not insult me. I am not Sabbanyu. That is a wrong word to use, but nowadays everybody uses Buddha is Sabbanyu. Sarvajñan Vahanse. That's a bad terming for the Buddha. Because Buddha himself told clearly in the Majjhima Nikaya's Tevijja Vachakata Sutta, I am not Sabbanyu. Don't insult me. Then Tevijja Vachakata asked the Buddha, then how do you describe yourself? Yeah, I describe myself as someone who has attained three sciences, three knowledges. Tevijja, I have Kubbe Nivasa Anusati knowledge, I have Chatupapata knowledge, I have Asavakya knowledge. What are they? Kubbe Nivasa Anusati. I can know where beings were born in the past, in their many lives, their samsara. Kubbe Nivasa Anusati. I can also know when people die and where they're going to be reborn. Chutipapata, Chuti and Uppati. And I have the knowledge of extinction, elimination of defilements, kilesa. So I am only Tevijja. I am not Sabbanyu. But now, then what happened? Let me tell you what happened. There is a book in the Khuddaka Nikaya called Patisambhida Magga. There's a book in Khuddaka Nikaya. One of the books added to the Khuddaka Nikaya. Now, there, the monks added many ways of understanding Buddha as the Sabbanyu. In the Patisambhida Magga, one of the books, it says, one of the chapters in Patisambhida Magga, it says, Buddha is Sabbanyu, and there are 30 or 20 ways to say he is Sabbanyu. But in the Majjhima Nikaya, he himself said, I'm not Sabbanyu. See the what do you call the textual conflicts within the text. So that's why I'm telling you, we have to be very careful. We have to look at early Buddhism, as you said, Nikayas, early Nikayas, and see what the Buddha exactly said. But if you learn Khuddaka Nikaya first, learn the early Buddhism after, you're going to accept that. So there are many such places we have to be carefully picking up the true essence of what the Buddha said.
Sadhu, Bhante. Very good. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions before we transfer to Carlos? So now, don't you think that the people and most of the monks, some of the monks, they have made Buddha somebody who is more divine, more super? This has happened in the text. So we have to find out who the Buddha was exactly. He was a normal person. But this happened. Don't take Buddha. Now let's take somebody. Remember that Zen story, the Zen story. there was a Zen master a long time ago in that Zen story who got a problem in his bowl, you know, the patta for the Pindapata one. So he always covered one place and then he's going on Pindapata. Normally what he does before he starts Pindapata, he wants to look at the exact place of the hole in the bowl. So he is bringing the bowl like this towards the sun and looking at the hole and then start going for Pindapata. That's what he did because he wanted to see where is the problem, where is the hole. But other monks did not know why he did that. They kept continuing this tradition. So let's say after many, many hundred years, centuries, his followers, before they go for Pindapata, they were like, why you do that? Yeah, this is the tradition. I'll do that. But he did for that particular thing. And there was another Zen story, pretty interesting. What happened was in one temple, there was a cat. So when the chief monk started Dhamma talk, the cat made a big noise. So he said, bring the cat to the pulpit, tie him to the pulpit, because he is making a lot of sounds out there. So after that time, after many, many years, many, many centuries, every time when a monk is going to give a Dhamma talk in that temple, they're looking for a cat. Cat has never made a sound. They're looking for a cat in the temple, tie him to the pulpit. That is how we're going to start the Dhamma talk. Pretty crazy. They're looking for a cat. Okay, is there a cat here? Because we had to tie him to the pulpit, Dhammasana. Otherwise, the monk does not start. It's a tradition, ancient tradition. Right? So we have to respecting traditions. I'm really respecting bow down traditions, but these are not the real elements of the traditions. We have to understand it. It's a Zen story. You can look it up on the internet. Yeah, these two stories.
Thank you.
Yeah, if there are, I'll take one more minute. Otherwise, I'm gonna do the transfers. Okay, looks like no questions at the moment. So we will be transferring good karmas to departed people and sharing good karmas with the devas, nagas, and Mahidevas. Let's reflect upon all the good karmas which you've been doing so far. You've been listening to and discussing, engaging discussion about 4 bad friends, and we're going to be finishing those 4 bad friends today and discussing other Dhamma questions too about Buddhism as a history and all that. May all the good karmas that we've been accumulating in all these ways be transferred to all the departed relatives who passed away in the name of all of us. May all the departed people who passed away in the name of all of us be able to receive all these good karmas which you have done so far. May they be able to use all these good karmas in their sansari journey. If they were reborn in a place of pain, may they be able to switch to a better place. If they are already were reborn in a better place, may they be able to use all these good karmas to practice more Dhamma, and then finally attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Idammi nyati nang hotu sukita huntu nyatayu. Idammi nyati nang hotu sukita huntu nyatayu. Idammi nyati nang hotu sukita huntu nyatayu. May all the good karmas which you've been doing so far, committed so far, be shared by all the devas, nagas, and all the Mahidevas. May nagas, devas, and Mahidevas be well and happy, and then bless and protect all of you. Our friends who joined today and friends who could not join today, and your family members, everybody, even the reverend monks over there. May the Deva Naga Mahidika bless you for good health, quality of life, prosperity, peace of mind, safety, and all the good things. May Deva Naga Mahidika also finally attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Ittavatacha ammehi sambhatang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ittavatacha ammehi sambhatang punya sampadang sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ittavatacha ammehi sambhatang punya sampadang sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Akasatta cha bummatta deva naga mahindika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhantu loka sasanam. Akasatta cha bummatta deva naga mahindika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhantu desanam. Akasatta cha bummatta deva naga mahindika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhantu mang paranti chirang rakkhantu tvang sadati. May we be able to be in the company of Kalyana Mittas, not with the Papa Mittas. Kalyana Mittas here mean friends who support us, who are like-minded to all of us to proceed, to progress our Dhamma journey, to shorten our samsara and then to at least to attain Sotapanna in our life. With that in mind, we're going to recite this stanza. Imina punya kammena mami bala samagamu satang samagamu hotu yava nibbana padantya. Finally, may all the good karmas which you've been accumulating in all these ways be supportive, be helpful for all of us to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Abhivadana silis nichang vadha pachayino chattaro dhamma vadhanti ayuvanno sukhang balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevache ato nibbana sampatti iminate samijjati. By the noble power of the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, may all your sufferings go away, may all your sicknesses go away, may all your fears go away. May you be always protected for all the good things, prosperity and safety. Have a good night, everybody.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay.